And here to join us and tell us about consumerism and marketing is Dr. Billy Abraham, as we already mentioned, but let's read your full title, Technology Marketing Department from Sapir Academic College. Thanks so much for being here. So we're going to start out with a possible competitor to Uber and Lyft. Tesla could be providing a ride-sharing service soon. How does that work?
Well, the thing is this, they're providing a car sharing service which will be based on their autonomous vehicles. The thing is that you can allow your friends to share your car. You can even rent your services, but this will have to be within the network itself. When people finish using it, you can summon it. You can summon it back and use it.
How do you summon it back? What?
Well,
this is like a self-driving car?
Yeah, it's a self-driving car, so it just comes back to you.
It just comes back to you. So, how will this benefit consumers and society in general, this sort of initiative?
Well, I don't know if our viewers know, but in Tel Aviv, probably next month, there will be a car-sharing service provided by the Tel Aviv municipality, and which means that people will be able to share their cars provided by the city, and this saves, of course, a lot of money because cars are not cheap. Maintenance is really not cheap. From statistics, we know that 90% of the time people don't use their cars, so it means that it's just they are idle in your parking lot. So you can share it with people and make money, and of course, it can also save a lot of pollution. It can free up a lot of public space for buildings. Which we have problems with that right now. Absolutely, we do in Tel Aviv. But I want to move on to a possible AT&T Time Warner monopoly. There's talk about acquisition here of Time Warner acquiring AT&T. So there's been a big uproar. Why is that? Well, the concern is that it will become a very large company. One of the concerns in the United States is that there are a lot of monopolies, cable monopolies. In some cities, there's only one provider, or maybe two. So the larger the company, the greater the effect on, first of all, wage inequality. A lot of people earning not a lot of money. The less competition you have means that the less options there are for workers. So the less companies that I can work in, the lower the wage. That's one thing. Another thing is that large companies have a lot of influence on regulators, which always benefits only themselves and not smaller companies. And we've seen other big mergers in the past. So what makes this one so different? Well, it's the first time that the Department of Justice will have to deliberate on a merging between two companies where the sticking point is the number of the large consumer base that will be at its disposal. Now, the larger the consumer base, the greater the disadvantage that it provides to smaller companies. Because if you have a large customer base, it means that you know exactly when they're watching, what they're watching, when they're watching, and because it's going to happen through AT&T's mobile phones, you'll know they're watching programs through Netflix, for example. And the more information you have, the more money you can get for your advertising, advertising in your company. Something people like to do while they're watching TV is eat. So this goes on to our next topic. You can order food through Google Maps. This is an initiative. How does that work, and why did they decide that there's a need for this? Yeah, well, it does sound strange at first, but there are over 1 billion people who use Google Maps today, and this means that it can provide access to a lot of people. So how does it work? Very simple. You open your Google Map app, you search for a restaurant. Once you find it, in the location details, there will be an buy option or order a restaurant option. Once you click on that, it will take you to the website, and you can order food. That is so cool. And how big is the online food delivery business now? Okay, well, the delivery business in general is worth about $200 billion. Wow. And if you look at the online delivery business, it's just 4% if I neutralize the amount of money that is spent on ordering pizzas. So non-pizza delivery is worth about $4 billion, which is a very small percentage. It's about 2%. And the problem is that funding for startup companies who are engaged in delivery services has decreased considerably in comparison to 2014. In 2015, $4 billion were raised from investors. By the end of this year, companies will be able to raise less than $1 million, $1 billion. Wow. So that's a significant decrease. Very, very significant. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Abraham.